Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, it's too easy to think we'll be happy in the future. Here to share the 7 tips to make it a reality today, we welcome the author of Happily Ever Always, Michael Rosenblum. Good to have you with us.
Helen?
What does that mean exactly, happily ever after always? Ever after always.
Well, the idea...
And I said it wrong again. Happily ever always.
Always, because if you think about happily ever after, it's after means it's ended, and always means it's endless. And when we were little and we read storybooks, or even today as we are adults and read storybooks, we think about the fact that, you know, after it's over and I'm done, it's finished.
Right.
But always is that continuum, that exciting moment, like when the sun is on your face and it feels so great, that our happiness should always continue. It shouldn't stop.
You give a number of tips on how to find happiness, essentially. One is keep your commitments.
Absolutely. What's interesting about this is thinking your word is your bond. Mm-hmm. Do unto others as you would want them to do to us. So like when we say we're committed to do something and we don't follow through, it's really disappointing.
Sure.
And so
you lose the respect of your friends, yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so why would you want to do that? So really, we're not happy when we don't follow through. And we don't feel great when people don't follow through to us.
Right, exactly. You talk about start where you are, and what does that mean exactly?
Don't let your circumstances determine your future. Look around for change. It's everywhere. Initiate something new in your daily routine in order to bounce into a whole new sphere. And I think that's what's really important, is people don't have to feel like they're bogged down in that meaningless job. Maybe there's some other opportunity that's available to them. And a lot of people don't know how to start that process, but it's as easy as just going to a new yoga class. You don't know who you're going to meet. You
don't. And speaking of meeting, making meaningful connections is important.
Yes, meaningful connections is being authentic, being your true self.
Sure.
Don't look at everyone as your agenda, but just sort of fall into it.
Well, and how do you, what do you mean fall into it?
Fall into it meaning just be yourself, be authentic, be real. And as you move through your daily life, just initiate things as they come along and take the opportunities.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut is listening to yourself. A lot of people don't take the time to listen to themselves. And when they do listen to themselves, you have to believe in yourself. And then you have to give yourself permission to be able to do that which you really want.
Is that something you use in your career as a realtor?
Absolutely. I've always listened to my gut. I am not driven by the idea that, am I going to make my next dollar? I'm going to listen to what I believe is the right thing to do because I know it will channel. Today you had a guest on, that young scientist. It was brilliant listening to him.
Wasn't he great?
He was phenomenal. Did you catch the fact that he wanted to donate part of his earnings to nonprofit?
Right.
How amazing is that? Doing something phenomenal like that.
Yeah.
That opens up sort of a fountain of happiness.
Absolutely. Exchange your thinking about change.
Yes. The idea is change is a very difficult thing for a lot of people.
It is, yeah.
And sometimes change is really hard. But you want to know something? Think about life. Think about the fact that life changes constantly, like winter. From the dead of winter comes the birth of spring. And think about something as gross as, I hate to say manure, but when you mix it with the soil, it grows the vegetables which give us the ability to sustain life. So nothing is horrible. And so the same with change. Don't resist it, move with it.
Don't wish your villains away.
Yes, I love this one.
Can't we do that?
Well, think about your own life. I can think about mine. Sometimes the meanest people turn out to be blessings in disguise because they help us in a way that we never thought of. We actually learn from the fact that we don't want to put ourselves into a moody because they were mean. We're going to take control of ourselves and our lives, and we're going to do better than what they are doing for us. Like when we're stuck in a job and we have a horrible boss, you don't need to be a prisoner.
Right.
You know, that person is teaching you something about yourself. They're hopefully igniting something within yourself to move forward in the face of faith, not fear.
And when all else fails, get moving.
And that's what I was saying earlier about the fact that if you don't know where to begin, just begin. Your friend calls you for dinner, go to dinner. You don't know if you'll meet Mrs. Right or Mr. Right or a new boss. Take a yoga class. Go to a new gym session. Do something out of your ordinary routine in order to create that extraordinary moment, which is interesting. If you think of the word extraordinary, it's broken down that it's extraordinary. So the idea is you move through your ordinary routine, initiate some extra behavior that will bounce you into that extraordinary moment.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. The book is Happily Ever Always. Michael Rosenblum, thank you so much. Appreciate it.